Okay, so as I said, we are going to be getting together 3 times during the next 3 weeks to see how we're doing with our learning and with our activities. Okay, we have started this autumn school just a couple days ago. My colleague Megan, who is the mastermind behind all of these, thank you, Megan, for being here. She shared with you a lot of info and with a lot of links for you to make it easy. But please, if there are questions, we are here for you, okay? So for those of you who are new to Entrepreneurship for All, this is an initiative of the European Union, who's our engine, behind us, who are always pushing us to be better, to develop better content, better opportunities for everyone. And Entrepreneurship for All, it's an ecosystem. It's a learning ecosystem, it's a sharing ecosystem. We have our web, of course. We are developing some very cool VR experiences. We have a fantastic resource library for you to go through if you want, if you have something to share that you would love us to have up in our resource library, please contact us. We would love to do that. We have learning pathways, which we are going to talk about in a minute. We do these live events that I already told you we love so much. We have, and we're going to share in the chat, if we haven't yet already, a community of practice. And we want to invite everyone to our community on practice. We host it on LinkedIn to make it easier for everybody. And this is a space where we truly share. Okay, of course, from the Entrepreneurship for All side, yes, we're constantly letting you know about events, about new activities, new initiatives, new opportunities, but it's also a space for you to share, to ask questions, to if you're being challenged with something, maybe you want to share that, and I'm sure the community will help you out. Okay, so do go to the LinkedIn community and register and just start sharing. Alrighty. In a web, you'll find a chatbot to make your navigation easier, okay, through your learning. We also have a self-assessment tool, and this has proved to be very helpful for a lot of us who are not always sure where to start, how to begin, what should I do first, okay? So there's like a self-assessment tool to help you on that sense. But before we go on the activities we have prepared for you today, we would love to get to know each other better, okay? And for that, we have prepared a few questions and an interactive activity that we would love everyone to participate, okay? There's a QR code on screen because you can perfectly use your mobile and just click there and start. But there's also a link being shared on screen, on the chat, I'm sorry. Well, it's on screen as well, if it's easier for you. So we're just going to wait a second for everyone to join so that we can get to know each other better. Okay, it's been done on Slido. There's a QR code. Let us know if you're struggling with joining the Slido, please let us know on the chat because I'm sure we can help you. The link is in the chat. So you can either do it on your computer, on your desktop, or with your phone. All righty? Okay. So we are going to start with the first question, okay? And this is an easy one. Where are you joining us from? Megan was just sharing with us that only for today's event, people registered from 47 different countries, okay? Which is pretty amazing. I'm actually, myself, I'm from Venezuela, but I live in Madrid. So I'm joining today from Madrid. So please let us know where you're joining from. Let's see, we have quite a few from Spain, from the Netherlands. Welcome, Albania, Italy, United Kingdom, Brussels, Liverpool, Sri Lanka. Well done. Istanbul, Bangladesh, Hungary, from Cuenca. Hello from Cuenca near me. From Zurich, from Tbilisi, Romania. Oh my God, this is super cool. Serbia, Georgia, Paris, New Delhi. Germany, Dubai, so many amazing countries from France as well, from Thailand, my dear Thailand. I lived in Thailand many years ago. Lovely. I think we could make a pretty cool entrepreneurship for all map today with these countries. Thank you. Thank you for sharing where you're joining us, where you're joining from today. Istanbul, Luxembourg, Sweden. Fantastic. Okay, we can move on to the second question. Which of these best describes you in your entrepreneurial journey? Okay. You might be an experienced entrepreneur, okay? You've been an entrepreneur for quite some time and you've gained definitely good experience. Maybe you are a new entrepreneur, you're just starting out. Maybe you're not an entrepreneur, but you want to be. You're playing with the idea of becoming an entrepreneur. Or maybe you're just here out of curiosity. I'm no entrepreneur, but I'm here to see what all of this fuss is all about, right? Which is perfectly acceptable. We always love those because then you get hooked on Entrepreneurship for All. Okay, so let's see. 16% of our audience today is an experienced entrepreneur, which is fantastic. I'm sure you have a lot to share with those who are starting out, who are new, which is most of our audience today, 44%. Fantastic. About 34% of our audience is not an entrepreneur, but wants to be an entrepreneur. Okay, today we have here with us Jill Jones. We are going to learn all about her experience, and I'm sure she can give us, all of us, some hints on how to become an entrepreneur. Wonderful. And out of curiosity, about 6% of us. So that's fantastic. Lovely. Thank you for sharing that. This is interesting to know. Let's go on to the third question, okay? What's your biggest challenge when learning online? Okay, our proposal for this autumn school is that we learn online with some live events because we do not want to lose, definitely do not want to lose that human connection, that human touch that it's so important for all of us. But we all struggle, me the first, okay? I start with huge intentions, with huge goals of doing 100 million courses, I'm sorry, and then I don't finish, okay? So maybe you're struggling with staying focused, okay? Or time management, you don't know where to fit it in your, super busy daily schedule, okay? So you are struggling with time management. Maybe you, with the online learning, you miss that being connected to others. So feeling connected is your challenge, your main challenge. Or technical issues, right? So that would be, I would have to click on that. Technical issues is a top thing on my life. But I have a community that supports me on that, so that's fine. Let's see. Most of us do struggle with staying focused and time management, right? Finding that special moment on where to feed our learning, our online learning, and staying focused, right? You start with something and then you move on to something else and you forget about it. Okay. And feeling connected, right? Yes, we do miss that interaction with others when we're doing only online. Thank you for sharing this. This is really interesting for all of us. Let's see, the next one. What's your ideal workspace for diving right now into the Entrepreneurship for All Autumn School? Maybe you would love to do it in a cafe with good Wi-Fi, or just I wish I could show you my my chaotic desk. This would be my place, full of papers and stuff, right? Maybe your favorite place to learn is a good sofa, your bed, staying in bed and doing some learning, being really comfortable. That's a good idea as well. Or a quiet library, a quiet space, and go to a special, learning environment to get more focused, maybe. That would be a good idea as well. Let's see, most of us definitely are doing our autumn learning in our desks, in our very messy, chaotic desks, but full of experience, as I say, right? This means a lot is going on. Good. Some of you will choose the sofa. That's lovely. Yes, that would be fantastic. And a cafe with Wi-Fi, and the library is being quite a good choice. So thank you. Thank you for sharing this. This is good to know where you're going to be tackling your autumn learning these next few weeks. Aha. And about that learning, we do need motivation, right? So what's your go-to motivation booster? Coffee, definitely coffee. Here's a look. How do I show you my, here we go. Here's my coffee. That playlist that makes me feel invincible, that's good, yeah. Um, Power chats with my people, yeah, to keep us motivated, to push each other to keep on learning. That's important. Deadline panic, good. That's definitely the top one, right? Why are we like this? Why do we wait until the last minute to accomplish everything, right? Deadline panic, that's definitely a motivator for a lot of us. Good. And the other three, our power chats, our music, and our coffee are as important to the rest. Lovely, lovely to know this. Okay, today, in a minute, I will be sharing with you which paths you can take, which courses you can take in the next 3 weeks, okay? For those of you who have explored Entrepreneurship for All learning paths before, you will know that we have four entrepreneurial paths, but we have developed these special ones for the autumn, okay? One focused more on entrepreneurship, another one on financial literacy, another one on sustainability, how to become more sustainable, how to develop truly sustainable businesses. Another one more in the digital side, okay, how to develop your digital skills. And one specially designed for women entrepreneurs, okay? So it is very interesting for us to see that entrepreneurship, sustainability, and women are maybe the top ones, and financial and digital are still on the run. But maybe this time for the autumn, we feel more interested in these three that you can see on screen. That's really cool. Really cool to know that sustainability, women, and entrepreneurship are our top ones. So we have developed paths for these three focus areas. So, well, for all of them, for the five, of course, but you will find something for you, okay, to cater for your needs. So that's fantastic. Lovely. And I think we have one more, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So we are about, if you haven't already, okay, because everything's been shared with you already, but we are about to start this learning experience during the next 3 weeks. So choose one word that you, super honest word, you can be very, very honest. One word that would describe how you feel about starting this Entrepreneurship for All autumn school journey, okay? Maybe you are super excited, maybe you're hopeful, maybe you are dragging and do not really want to do it, but feel you have to, okay? So let's see. A lot of you are excited and curious and optimistic, which is fantastic. We need to help each other, right? The community helps on that. Dope. Yeah, sometimes, right? Fabulous. You feel curiosity. You need to deal with time management. Yes. Hopeful, scared, cool, very good. You want sharing, that's a nice word, okay? You feel like sharing during these 3 weeks, fantastic. You want to expand, there's excitement in you. A roller coaster, yes, right? I think that would describe very well a lot of our journeys, right? We go up and down and up and down, yeah. Very good. Interested. Broke. Hey, there's someone broke. Well, you do have an investment angel here today, so we'll talk about it in a minute. Light bulb, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for sharing these words. It's good to know, and it's okay not to be at the top of your optimism and motivation all the time. This is why we have a community, so that we can help each other. We can push each other, okay? To upskill, reskill, yeah, upscale our business. So yes, fantastic. More words are coming in. Creative, someone feels creative, that's fantastic. Aseptic, yeah, that's fine as well to feel like that. But once you start, I'm sure you're gonna change your mind. So fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Megan, for sharing this. Thank you, everyone, for being so honest and sharing your idea. This gives all of us an idea of who we are, where we are, what we want, etc. Okay? So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. I have to tell my colleagues that I'm not seeing the chat right now. So if there's if I should stop, and there's anything that we should.
It's okay. We've just had lots of positive messages, a few LinkedIn's as well. So feel free to use the chat, and I'll let you know if anything else comes up, Marilyn.
Fantastic, lovely. Okay, so we've just had some nice fun, at least I did. And I want to move on to the next section, okay? Because this is the best section of all. Because we have today with us our dear Jill Jones, who wanted to be here with us. She started, she's going to tell you all about her journey. She's going to tell all of us all about her journey. She founded Women Angels of Wales, okay, and she's here to share about her experience, okay, as an entrepreneur. She has a background in optometry and also property investment, quite diverse fields, I would say, and I find that super interesting. And after, you know, developing your career, you became an entrepreneur, okay? So maybe, Jill, you can tell us first before we go on. I have a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind, but if you could tell us a little bit about your background and your history and how you ended up here, that would be fantastic. Thank you very much for being here. We have so much to learn from you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that very kind introduction. Right, my own journey. I qualified as an optometrist, and after a short period, sort of building up, working in practice, I moved abroad, went to live in the Bahamas, and one of the things my husband and I were doing was flying out to outer islands, taking optometry out to people who couldn't get into practice. When we returned to the UK, we found that that wasn't an option for people who couldn't get into a practice. That wasn't an option in this country. I'm talking about late 80s, early 1990s now.
Heidi.
So we brought our learnings from the Bahamas back to the UK and set up a domiciliary eye care business, which was innovative, it was new, nobody was doing it. We rapidly grew that. And the theme which is going to come through now is that we identified a need. We did our research, we found it wasn't there, we met that need, we were able to progress the company and grow the company. But then different life stages came in. We decided to start a family. I needed to step back. So I think this is something that's going to resonate with many of the women in the audience, and probably many of the men as well, that you're not involved in business, or you're not an entrepreneur in isolation. It's part of who you are. And we couldn't continue that. We decided to go for a practice-based company. We set up 2 practice-based companies, which made it easier to work around raising a family. But I always need to have something new going on. During that time, I went to study entrepreneurship, because although we'd built a business, we were building the other businesses, I needed something, and I think this again will resonate. Many people go into entrepreneurship when a standard employee position doesn't fit with maybe caring responsibilities, other responsibilities, learnings, whatever they're doing. So I went to study back to university to study entrepreneurship, which made me understand that very many of the principles which apply to one sector apply across many sectors.
Of course.
And as part of my journey, when I did a 1-year master's, I came across angel investing, and I was just so excited about it. So can I just explain, because angel investing is just amazing. It's someone like myself, private individuals who bring finance, support, mentoring to early stage companies. And angel investors are vital to an entrepreneurial economy, because we often provide finance when other options aren't available to an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And it's about much more than the money. When you have angel investors, we bring all our own knowledge, everything to support you. So I became involved in angel investing, which was great. I was able to give things back. And then I decided to do something completely different and get involved in property. But again, I didn't know anything about it, so I teamed up with somebody who did and worked with a surveyor who would be able to help me. And this is something else that I'd like to say: nobody does it alone. Know what you don't know, and where you can fill those knowledge gaps and work with other people and seek support and advice. So I've been working with this guy now for 20 years probably, and he's helped me with that side of things. But one thing through all of this is that I found, especially with the angel investing, is that women are underrepresented and women are not getting the finance. Women are not there as investors, investing in any stage of the journey, and women are not getting the funding. So I also went back to university again to study why women aren't getting the funding that they need. So I'd say my key takeaway from my own journey would be to identify a need, do your research, make sure it's not just you that's looking at that need, do your research, make sure that there is a need for it. And people bring different perspectives. Women experience the world differently from men, so they'll identify different needs. Do your research and believe in it, because it's not easy, particularly if you're bringing a new product or service to the market. You're doing something that hasn't been done before. People say, well, why? What? So believe in it and be flexible and adaptable to your own changing life stages as you go through, but also the context changing, particularly in our sort of fast moving tech world now. Things are changed. So don't have an idea and then keep going with it for 10 years because the context may have changed. So be flexible on many fronts and know what you don't know. Seek help where you need it. Seek support. At every stage of my journey, I've gone back to university, I've gone back to training, I've gone back to courses, and I've brought in help from other people. So I think that's quite a few points that I'd say there. But
thank you, Jill. Yes, definitely. Because I guess one thing is to believe in your idea, and another one to be flexible and open to change depending on the needs that you have identified, etc. But I think you've shared in such few words very important, very powerful concepts here. I guess, the need of others as well, not being alone, the need of, learning and getting new knowledge. You said it yourself. I knew nothing about it. And so I went and studied. So thank you for sharing that, because sometimes we tend to forget. But it is true that from, changing your life completely and becoming an entrepreneur is also a matter of mindset, of changing your mindset, right? Or evolving a mindset. I think it's constantly evolving, right? It's not a fixed thing. We should not be a fixed thing. So tell us how you feel your mindset evolved, and you heard it yourself. A lot of us are not entrepreneurs but want to be entrepreneurs, and maybe we are lacking those ingredients, right, to evolve our mindset, to become to embrace that entrepreneurial mindset. So give us some hints. What do you think that evolvement should include, how it should happen?
I think you've said it very clearly there. There is no perfect entrepreneur, and we're very often sort of bombarded with images of this perfect white male entrepreneur. That's what being an entrepreneur means, but it's not that. It's a mindset. It's a way of thinking. There is a certain amount of self-belief. There's openness to learn. I keep coming back to that. And be open to help. Don't feel that you have to do it alone, because it can also be a lonely journey. This is something that came out of my research, particularly during COVID. Those running their own businesses, I did some research with female entrepreneurs and how they were coping during the COVID pandemic. They were terribly lonely because you're there on your own, you're running the business, you've got your idea. So surround yourself with good people and self-belief. Believe in yourself and be open and receptive to ideas from others, and be prepared to do things differently.
Okay.
Because that's what it takes, I would say.
Exactly. So you've seen yourself that there are definitely inequalities in how accessing funds, right? So is there anything really we can do? I mean, is there something investors should do? Is there something entrepreneurs should do differently? Is there something founders should do differently to try to bring to a more balanced world, let's say?
Absolutely, we need it. We're talking about gender now, but we're talking about all intersectional factors. When you bring race, you bring geography, you bring different regions, you bring so many different factors in. It's not an equal playing field. It's not a level playing field by any stretch of the imagination. As far as men and women are concerned, I mean, I've got the UK figures. It's frightening disparity between the funding that men get and the funding that women get. And I made a couple of notes here that the average loan sought by female-led businesses is 2/3 of that sought by male-led businesses. Women tend to self-fund their own businesses rather than going for funding, rather than asking for debt, because they're reluctant to take on debt. And because of this, women are labelled as being risk averse. Well, maybe women aren't risk averse, maybe men are more overconfident. It's sort of self-perpetuating that women don't go for the funding and then they're labelled as being risk averse. Also, women tend to start businesses in a different type of venture. It's quite well recognised that women are underrepresented in STEM subjects, in
That's a reality. Yeah.
So women will often be in professional services or maybe more of a product type industry, which is not that high growth entrepreneurship. But there are many different faces to entrepreneurship. But unfortunately, the dominant narrative is the high growth tech fund. That's what being an entrepreneur means. No, it means much, much more than that. And I think I'm taking a convoluted way around to answer your question. But it's those beliefs, those thoughts, those ideas in entrepreneurship that we need to challenge. And that can be done by awareness raising, events such as this, connecting with other people, speaking to other people, understanding that others are going through the same journey. I think the more we break down geographical boundaries as well, I think this is so important, because I found that there are many of the similarities across sectors, but also across geographical regions. It's fabulous that we have such a wide-ranging audience here. The problems we're facing in the UK are the same as across Europe, across in other countries. The same thing from my own research I found is replicated time and time again. There's that idea of what entrepreneurship means. And events such as this, creating support, helps us to change that, because it's only then that we'll bring the products and services to market that people really need, and it'll enable people to become entrepreneurs.
So there's definitely a powerful ingredient there in the community, right? In creating in getting people together to face these challenges together, right?
Absolutely. And to say this is what entrepreneurship means. It's not just this, it's also this and this and this. And there are many different ways to look at it. You're creating businesses, you're creating jobs, you're bringing something new to market. That's entrepreneurship. And very often, I keep coming back to this image of what an entrepreneurship means. It's many different things. It's somebody bringing something new, someone starting a business. They are entrepreneurs and they need the support, and it needs to be recognised as such. So I'd say awareness raising, breaking down beliefs within the entrepreneurial ecosystem, within many entrepreneurial ecosystems, is very important. And bringing policymakers on board, helping policymakers to understand, and also becoming part of the existing ecosystem. It's not just enough to, women are doing this, become linked up with other sectors, not just female-only groups, but have women and male entrepreneurs working together and learning together. And that's what will make a difference, I think.
Lovely, thank you, Jill. Well, I am a bit curious. I have to confess, I am a bit curious about the being an angel investor, etc. So, going back to these, because we have maybe this romantic idea, or maybe it's not romantic and very realistic, and I would love you to share with us a little bit of that. TV shows like Shark Tank, etc., and how people come with these fantastic ideas and new products, etc., and they pitch, they create very creative pitches, and they're being heard out, etc. We did have a hackathon last week with Entrepreneurship4All. Maybe some of our participants today were part of our hackathon, and we encourage teams to develop creative pitches at the end. And I think we still struggle with how to pitch properly a new idea. And we do more of a boring old presentation with facts and numbers, etc. So as an angel investor, what should a good pitch be about? Give us some ideas. Tell us a bit how it works and how to pitch.
You've got to remember when if you're pitching your idea and you are trying to pique somebody's interest. You're not expected to present the whole concept within a pitch. A pitch will usually be about, well, you can have a sort of elevator pitch, 3 minutes, or at our pitch events, you would have sort of 10, 15 minutes. And that's to get the core concepts of your idea across, have a good story to tell, show that you believe in it, have a clear understanding of where you want to be and how you'll get there. But don't try to explain too much within the pitch. Be concise and succinct and show that you understand it enough to explain it in simple terms, because it's after the pitch that the investors will then do the due diligence and they'll get to know the founder and they'll spend some time before deciding whether to invest. So the pitch event is really your opportunity to showcase the idea, to be clear, realistic, know the financials inside out, but you don't have to go through in great detail, but know the financials. And any investor will know that, you know, they're subject to alteration, but show that you know how it would be feasible to get there. And again, recognize where you need help. Don't say, I'm going to do all this myself and I'll have global domination in 2 years' time, because you have to understand that there will be support needed, need to be some flexibility, but show that you believe in it, that you've identified the need, you've done your research, and you really understand the product and where you want to be with it.
Okay, thank you. That's good advice. I think there are a couple of questions in the chat here for you, Jill, if you don't mind, if you have an extra couple of minutes. Someone was wondering, because you did mention on your journey, right, that you went back to university. So people were wondering if these were just short courses or full degrees, let's say, postgraduate degrees.
Yep. Well, I qualified as an optometrist. I did short courses in computer. I qualified as an optometrist a long time ago when computers were huge. There were no home computers in those days. So when I realised I wanted to go back to studying, I did local short courses, which were fabulous, which sort of upped my computer skills. Then I went back for a 1-year master's. Then I went back and did another master's. And then I did the PhD. But in between, I've taken advantage of local short courses where I've identified my own gaps in knowledge.
Okay, lovely. Because I think you know that this is one of I should say it's our main aim with Entrepreneurship for All. We want everyone to find something there according to everybody has different experiences, and maybe we're, you know, did some studies on a field and we're developing ourselves in a different field. So we wanted everyone to find that little thing that you feel you need to get better at, right? So courses are also valuable in that sense, right?
It gives you that opportunity for working with other people. And as I've gone through each time, I've developed friendships with people that I'd never have met otherwise, completely different backgrounds, completely different professional lifestyle backgrounds. But it's great, you know, we've gone on that journey together and we learn from each other. You never know what you're going to pick up along the way.
Yeah, there are a couple more questions. So people, I love this because they really appreciate you having here. We all do. Okay, this is a bit of a personal question. How do you balance your entrepreneurship journey and your life? You know, they both require full-time jobs. He says, and it's true. Is there any tool that make things easy for you, or, you know, to prevent burnout, for example? What's your secret? How do you balance it, if you balance it?
Yes, I have 3 children. So, you know, this was the decision, my husband and I, to go for a practice-based business, so I'd be able take time out. I've always worked around the family, so it enabled me to work at home for much of the time. Having the family, that's my husband and I sort of had parallel career paths until I had children. and,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
it differed completely. And I think this is something that, you know, women find. And a big driver for going back and studying entrepreneurship, finding different ways of doing things. I couldn't commit to being in practice. I couldn't do all that then. So a big driver was to find a way to work in the evenings, to work in the mornings, and to balance my life with family or whatever it may be, you know, with caring commitments. And I've taken a step back at times, at sometimes when there's been a lot happening. You don't have to do everything all at once. At times I've sort of taken a step back, concentrated on the family. And then I have to say, it was as soon as my youngest child left home that I went back to university to do my PhD. I couldn't have done that when the children were at home. But it's responding and just finding a way that works for you, I think. And I think we have a great advantage now that we can be at home but still connect in ways like this. You know, we still have access to communities.
And I think our life blends more nowadays. I think a few decades ago, maybe it was easier to differentiate. This is working time. This is, for me, it's impossible. I do not like saying life and work, because for me, it's the same, right? It needs to be the same. Otherwise, you know.
And I think with entrepreneurship, you need to have that passion for it. For entrepreneurship, supporting entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship research, it's a big part of my life. It's not a chore when I'm involved in things. So I think that I enjoy doing. So I think that's the important thing. It's part of the passion for the project that you're doing.
There's one more question for you, and very interesting one. Before we move on, let's say I'm going to read it out. Okay. Starting an entrepreneurship journey. I understand the problem I want to solve and the impact my business could make. Wonderful. If you're clear about that, amazing. However, taking the first step can feel challenging. From your experience, how do founders overcome these initial barriers and move from idea to action? Would attending mentor-led trainings or connecting with experienced startups help in this process?
Well, in the UK, we have the accelerator programs. So I'm not quite sure, you know, where this audience member's calling from. But if there are sort of local business support groups who will help you take it from idea to sort of proof of concept, that can be a big help. So I think it's, so I'm a little bit in the dark about where someone's based, but I would say you would want to look for something local, something regional, may be able to help you, depending on what the business is. And I think you need to, well, again, speak to people. If there's nobody locally, find somebody else who is maybe in a similar sector, similar position, or further down the journey, and reach out to them, because I always find people are very, very willing to help and very willing to support. And many entrepreneurs who've at the other end of the journey are keen to give something back to those at the beginning. So maybe do a bit of research, find out if there's someone you can contact who may be able to support you and help.
Lovely, Jill. Thank you for sharing this with you so generously, with us. I mean, so generously, so open and honest. I feel it's been fantastic. Actually, there are a few comments thanking you. They want to know more about your organization, and we've shared your you know, the link so that they can go and find out more. And I'm sure they can contact you through there to see how. Yeah, yes. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. Well, I'm going to mention it at the end, but we are going to have a finance academy pretty soon, and you're welcome to join us. I'm sure we're going to let you know about it, because I'm sure that your experience will be of help for a lot of us. Thank you, Jill. Thank you very much for being here. You can contact her. We're sharing her contact details. So yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm just going to steal a few more minutes of your time just to share with you how you can start your learning, okay? We've heard it from Jill, from her own experience, okay? Being up to date on knowledge, skills, new trends, how things are being done digitally, financially, entrepreneurially, etc. It's important, okay? So we have a fantastic team from different organizations, from different countries who have developed learning opportunities for all of us, and they're all available for free on Entrepreneurship for All. Okay, so I want to share with you. Just give me 5 minutes, and this will be over so that you can start. I'm going to share my screen again, just once more. Let me make sure I'm sharing properly. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so when you go to Entrepreneurship for All, you will find an easy way in, let's say, through what we call the learning pathways, okay? There are 4 learning pathways I'm going to show you in a minute. But for this autumn, we mixed and matched a little bit those courses so that you could take different, and we call them innovator paths, okay? So you can go down both roads, let's say. So let me see if I can... Sorry, my mouse is not working, but I'm gonna use this. Okay, done. Okay, so the ones that you will find there is you click in, you join, and you're in. Okay, you're in a new world of knowledge, let's say, according to what you need to reskill or something new that you want to learn. Okay, and we have 4. I want to become an entrepreneur. Okay, and it's, you know, those essential basics, let's say, to start out a business. I want to upskill. Maybe you are already in the entrepreneurial world, but you feel you need to stay competitive. You need to bring it up a notch, right? Your own business, so that you can maybe reshape some of your business to become more successful. I want to grow my business is the 3rd pathway we have, okay? For these courses are a bit more advanced, okay? They help you expand your existing business already. And we have developed a 4th one that it's called I Want to Reflect and Grow. This is for everyone, honestly, if you're starting out or if you're very experienced, but especially for very experienced one. It's an invitation to reflect on your journey, to see which steps you've taken, what changes you've been through, and to see how you can improve and implement the changes you might need for your business, okay? Now, for these autumn, so these are there for you. For these autumn, we, as I just mentioned, we sort of mixed and matched a little bit of the content inside these 4 pathways. And we try to develop some paths for you more focused on these 5 areas, okay? Entrepreneurship, sustainability, financial, digital, and women entrepreneur, okay? Now, for these, we have shared via email, but I can show you very easily. Let me, 1 second, see if I can find, yeah. If you go to a web page, okay, entrepreneurship4all.eu, and you go to events, okay, you're going to find it here, and you click on the Autumn School, okay, which is what brings us together today, and you scroll down. All of the information is here, when we're getting together, what are we talking about, etc. The pathways that I just mentioned. But you will find here on option 2, this new innovator paths, okay? And you will find in here, okay, for example, I'm going to click on the financial. You will find some guidelines for you to go through, okay? We are showing you here. So these guides are for you, okay, to go through, to help you navigate through the learning, where to click, what to do next, what comes after this, which step after step, etc. Okay? So these guides have been developed for you so that if you want, for example, to go down the financial innovator path, you open your guide, and here we will show you step by step. We even created a little, let's say, checklist so that you can make sure the courses you've been through, which ones are missing, still missing, etc. Okay? So that you will find in the Entrepreneurship for All in our webpage, okay? In the events section. So you have really two ways, okay? You go, I am through the original pathways, you know, I'm starting, I want to be an entrepreneur. What's the essentials I should learn about? I'm more experienced. Let's go into a more advanced course. Or you can go down these pathways if maybe you already have some experience on financial and digital, but you feel you need to learn more about sustainability issues, right? How to be truly sustainable, etc. So you go down this path, okay? So it's really up to you. The idea is that you find something that fits your needs and your aspirations, alrighty? So, after these 3 weeks, okay,
Marianella, can I just interrupt you for a moment?
Of course, always.
There's an interesting question which I've replied to, but I think it's worth stating as well. There was a question of, can we take both options and pass all courses? So you've seen the two options there of taking out pathways. The pathways go by levels for essentially beginner, middle, and growing entrepreneurs. And you've seen option 2, the innovator paths that are just for the autumn school. Yes, you can absolutely take both of these pathways. And in fact, you might end up doing it without even realizing, because if you complete all of the entrepreneurship courses and all of the sustainability courses and all of the financial innovator courses and all of the digital innovator courses, you're automatically going to receive the accreditation from the option 1 courses as well. Okay, so please take as many or as few courses as you like to build your learning how you want to. Because, for example, you might be thinking, do you know what? My digital skills are not that great. I could really do with improving my digital skills. And you want to go through the 3 levels, the beginner, the in the middle, and the expert level, okay? And maybe that's it. That's just what you want to do. But maybe you also want to develop in other areas too. So we encourage you really to take as many of these courses as you prefer. We generally find that looking at, for example, Entrepreneurship Innovator, it's about 3 hours of learning, because you will take 3 courses on entrepreneurship, 1 hour per course, about 3 hours to get them completed. You've got 3 weeks here with us in the autumn school. You've got plenty of time to complete 1, 2, maybe even all of them, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I know this sounds like a lot of information, but 2 things. Number 1, we are here for you. You can contact us anytime, okay? And we're happy to help out to see what should be next for you, etc. And number 2, Megan did send everyone who registered a full pack with info that you can go slowly, step by step, going through the links, through the guides. We have created some, this guide that I just rapidly showed is just a little tutorial, let's say, so that you know how to start and how to continue on building on your knowledge, on your courses. Okay, so it sounds like a lot right now, I know, but once you're in, you will see how easy it is and how logic, you know, the next step becomes for everyone. But honestly, as I just said, we are here for you. Okay, just the idea is to start out, and as Megan just shared with you, there's more than enough time. These are very easy to go through, let's say, courses, and there's always opportunity to go deeper if you want to, of course, but you will be able, I'm sure, because we've been through them ourselves, so you will be able to go through them as you want, okay? Now, thank you, Megan. Thank you for the question, and thank you, Megan, for the answer, because I hope that clarifies a little bit how it should be. Okay. Now, just wanted to share with you 2 things. One, I think we've already spoken about, and it's our Entrepreneurship for All Academy community on LinkedIn. Do go there, do join. That's also an opportunity to connect with others, to share about your experience, or hear about or read about others' experiences. share your questions, share your challenges there. I'm sure the whole community will try to help out. That's a little bit of a spirit that we are also promoting, and we just heard it from Jill, okay? It's the power is in the community. No one can do this by ourselves. We need each other, okay? And the other thing is that you are going to get at the end of this learning journey, let's say this autumn learning journey, you will get an e-badge that you can share on social media. So we have prepared a whole set of e-badges according to which path you go during these 3 weeks. So do expect to get one of those at the end, okay? So it is important for everyone to know that we are meeting again next week, okay? On the 15th of October, same time from 12 to 1, Central European time. We're waiting for all of you. 2 things. We would love to hear from you how you're doing. Hey, I'm finding this super cool. Hey, no, I'm totally lost. You said it was easy and I'm not finding my way through this. I mean, everything, we welcome everything because that's the idea, okay? To get together so we can help each other to move on, okay? Myself, I'm going to go through the financial one. That's the one I'm missing because I feel I really need to develop those skills. So we can share a little bit about that next week. And also next week, one of our authors is going to be with us, and she is going to explain a little bit about Learning Path 4. Remember, I mentioned that the 4th pathway of the original ones is to reflect and grow, okay? So she's going to present us how to go through that pathway, because it's something you can do now during the autumn school, or you can do it in the near future. So she's going to share with us how to, why it was developed, what's the rationale behind it, why it's so important for all of us to go through that reflect and grow pathway. And I'm just, wanting to hear all about it. Okay, so that's going to happen next week. So everybody, same day, same time. All righty. So it's just a matter of thanking you for being here. I do think we have 5 minutes left, so please feel free to, if you want to ask a question, raise your hand, share something. And now is the time. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so that we can see each other. And I'm gonna ask for a little favor. If you don't mind and you can turn on your cameras, that would be fantastic, because as we've been saying today quite a few times, this is about connecting with each other. This is about the community, and we would love to take a family photo if you don't mind. So if you're able to turn your camera, please do so. Thank you. Someone is saying that your trainings have really good quality. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. I know there's, we are conscious that there's always room to improve, but we have very passionate people behind Entrepreneurship for All, developing very cool stuff for everyone. So yeah, thank you for that comment. Okay. So turn on your cameras. I think we're ready, Megan. I don't know if you want to take a screenshot.
Fantastic to see so many of you with the cameras on. Welcome, everyone. I will take a few. Go, and let me just pass to the next screen as well. There's a few more there. Lovely. Thank you, everyone, for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you again, Jill, for being so generous with us today. Hopefully we'll see you again. We'll have the pleasure to have you again. And thank you everyone for being here. I'm going to say goodbye now so that you can start your learning right away. And remember, enjoy it. Have fun, okay? And if you have questions, and if you don't have questions as well, I'll see you next Wednesday, and we're going to get together again, okay? Thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.